this game has quite a lot of role-playing elements because there's a lot of different NPCs and factions that you can speak to, and they obviously give you missions, and you can get some of the rewards you would expect, like maybe new types of vehicles or units or some kind of resources or etc. But you can also get some really interesting things, like for example in a mission you might get a warning where the enemy is, which I think is really cool. And you can both be friends or turn these factions and NPCs into an enemy. And of course, some of these NPCs might join your army. This means that you can have a lot of different options and different missions. Now there's a huge variety of missions in this game. So there's obviously the optionality I already mentioned, where you can choose which NPCs or faction to help, but there are also different mission types. You can have a mission where you have to defend the map through the waves and waves of enemies. You can have attacking missions where you want to clear everybody. You can have escorting missions where you have to escort civilians or some kind of a vehicle from one place to another. You can have missions like find supplies, and also some missions are, let's say, very alive, where you start maybe with the goal to find some resources, and then that turns into a defending mission. Then it turns into clear the entire area mission. So it can be really interesting that it's not just fixed in stone. At the start of a map, you're not really going to know where you're going to end up because it's going to change, and also because it depends on your choices. So I really like that. I think that's really interesting and adds to that sort of role-playing part of the game. Now, speaking of missions, how do you pick them? Well, that's what the global map is for. So here on the global map, the game has three main resources: goodwill, manpower, and supplies. The supply and manpower is really interesting because you have to do this balancing act. Obviously, the more manpower, the better, but if you have too many men, you might not be able to feed them. And then it's not the Legion who will kill you. It's hunger. Now here on the global map is also where you can resupply units, trade with some factions that you befriended or outposts, and repair your units. Now another really cool thing is that you can actually pick up weapons that were left over from destroyed units on the ground. The game is a little too fast for you can always use active pause to stop things. Now speaking of stopping, I know you want to go play the game now instead of watching this video, so bye bye!